So, I've got this big dead oak to take out, and it's in an awkward spot. It's right next to a driveway and next to a fence, and it's got a little bit of a drop off. I don't really have any place I can drop any wood or any brush. The neighbor's got a lot of new plantings. And this tree's been dead a while, a few years. So I'm not about to climb it. Fortunately, I can reach it with my bucket truck, but not going to be a fun job. I hate working on dead trees. So I took my small bucket in here and I had to put it up close to the tree, which makes it awkward because everything falls down on my truck. Every piece that I was cutting, I had to rope down. Pieces were breaking, pieces were falling down. Oh, you like this. I've got a friend who let him stay up on my property a while ago. He was kind of down on his luck and didn't have any money, and he said, "Here, I'm going to give you my old chainsaw." And it happened to be a 200T from about 20 years ago, and it only had about 2 hours on it. So that's a pretty cool saw if you ever get a chance to run a 200T. They're pretty amazing. So I'm up in the air, and I got to figure out which branches to take first. And there's always a better way to do a job. And if you take out a piece too soon, then you might take out one of your gin poles for lowering stuff. But I'm inspecting this one. It obviously was not a good one. It was too weak. And then, I found ants. The tree was loaded with ants. Ants get all over you. They get in your clothes. They get in the back of your neck. They get in your hair. I do not like ants. When I'm working in a tree and you break into an ant colony, they come out mad. And there was 2 types of ants in this tree. There was the little tiny ones, which I think I detest those worse. And then there was the big ones. Oh, this is cool. While I was there, I took off a branch that was supporting a branch from that other live oak that was adjacent to us. And the branch lowered down, and then it cracked. And the whole thing broke and fell to the ground because it lost its support. There was this long, long branch there that fell out of the tree onto the ground. So this is day 1. We got all the stuff roped down, and we ended up chipping almost all of this. And this is kind of what it was like to rope the wood down. I had to tie each piece off. I was using a ring. And I like tying clove hitches. Some people do a bowline with a bite, but I kind of like the clove hitch. This is interesting. This is one of the pieces further down that I was roping wood off of, and I didn't know it was that decayed. And when I got to this point, I kind of shuddered because I thought, oh wow, that could have been a real catastrophe. So with a new camera, I got out the close-up lens, and these are those big black ants. I thought this was really cool. I love the quality of this lens on this new camera. It's the iPhone 13. So this is end of day 1. I left all this brush and all this wood and all these chips here as a place to dampen some of this wood, because I knew I was going to have to cut some of it off and let it fall somewhere. So day 2, we had to start off with roping some big pieces down, but then I got to a point where I decided to use the dowels. This is what this video is really all about. This is the dowel trick. I know some of you might have seen me use the dowel trick on a few of my other videos, but I'm going to be a little bit more comprehensive on this. If you've never tried using dowels, trust me, it's a game changer. Some of these pieces, like this piece right here, weighed a couple 100 pounds, but I didn't really have a good spot to rope it to. So I put a couple dowels under it, tied a rope, and Jorge pulled it off and landed right on our brush pile, or our, not really brush, it's mostly wood chips and wood. And the cool thing about it is when you put the dowels in there, your chainsaw comes right out because the dowels bridge the gap. Sometimes I'll put a wedge in the backside just to kind of get it started so I can slip the dowels in there. But then I pull the wedge out and it's sitting totally on the dowels. And you can see how well it works. I'm having him pull them off because I needed just a little bit more oomph to get it all the way over. Oh, that one fell over the curb. At least he had it tied on so it didn't roll through the fence. This stuff is heavy. That piece there is a couple 100 pounds. It's still got, the tree was dead, but it was still wet on the inside, so it's still got a lot of water weight. So here I'm trying to figure out the next best move. I thought I'm going to take a 5-footer, and I got to give it to Jorge. He talked me out of it. He said, we're doing all this work to protect this driveway. Why do you want to drop a 1,000-pound piece that's going to likely punch a hole? And he said, oh, you're right. So I went up and took a bunch of small pieces. Isn't that sweet? Look at how nice those dowels pull those pieces off. As it got closer and closer to the ground, I was able to take a little bit bigger cuts. There I went up in the bucket to show a little different perspective. Those dowels work so well. I do recommend that you get good hardwood dowels. I stopped at Ace Hardware because I broke the last ones I had. And damn, 59-cent dowels cost me almost $4 a piece at Ace Hardware. I felt like I was ripped off, but I needed them. I bought 6 of them and I kept reusing them. That one kind of slipped off the edge a little bit too. Alright, so we got down to, decided to do a couple of big cuts. This piece is heavy.
Alright, pull that big thing off of it. It's about 1,000 pounds. Can you do it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Let's see what you can do.
Ready?
Alright, go. Takes 2.
It's heavy.
Can you help?
Way too heavy.
Alright.
Way too heavy.
Way too heavy for
I
one.
can barely move it.
Alright. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Whoa!
I'm serious. That piece weighs 1,000 pounds. That thing is so heavy.
Yeah.
It's just full of water. So I'm fortunate that the lady came out and said, can you cut it down to kind of a high stump so I can put a plant on it? So I ended up leaving the stump about, probably 3 feet high. But I still needed to do one more big one there. We had to spend a bit of time cutting up all those pieces and get them out of the way. So I had to make room for this last big cut.
No.
You can't do it. I've got 3 dowels in there. And unfortunately, the dowels were crushing. So they weren't rolling quite as good as they should.
These cheap dowels.
That's why I say good hardwood dowels are better than some of these. I don't even know what kind of wood this is. I know they're imported from someplace in the world, but they were actually squishing. But it still worked. I wouldn't go much heavier than this, though.
Okay.
So it took the 2 of us. I set my camera down.
Okay. So if 2 of us can do it with those rolls.
And the 2 of us. Without those dowels, we couldn't have possibly done this.
That worked out a lot. That was good.
Yeah.
Nice and flat.
I swear, these dowels are such a great idea.
We would not have been able to do that without those dowels.
No.
The dowels are such a good idea.
Oh, this is kind of interesting. I had a friend call me up and said, hey, I've got an anvil and I need an anvil base. So if you ever get a chance, could you cut me an anvil base? So while I was there, I was cutting it up anyway, so I decided to cut that piece. And here's how we left the job. She wants to put a big plant on top of here. But as you can see, we did not do any damage to the asphalt. That crack in the curb was there when we started. There we go. She wanted the mulch there, so I left her a pile of sawdust.
Well, job's done. I'm tired. I'm going home. Friday, I'm ready.
And there's the anvil.